I know this was supposed to be about CPUs, but something came up and I had to make this video before. This came up, the Tauon PC-1. Yeah, I saw this ad some while ago and I ordered one. Next level of retro gaming. But when you start reading through the fine print here, you realize that this is something strange. If you market something that you can just use it's just the perfect case for a single board computer, you should get suspicious. And if it says something that you can use this to educate a 2-year-old or use it as a perfect retro platform, get suspicious. I opened the box and inside there's some nice, yeah, I want to do this instead, but focus. I opened the box and inside we have a manual with big promises and great hopes. It shows the technical specification, and it also tells you that you can't get to the full technical spec unless you add active cooling. And here we have the outside and we have the inside, and yeah, we're gonna take a proper look at the inside later. And here we have some more promises. Some of the installed games. There we have some pre-installed applications. We have some possible emulations, and we have some pre-installed games. And some tips and tricks for this thingy. And we open the box, and we open the small boxes first. They're actually more interesting than the actual machine. Here we have a EU power plug and a optical mouse, a very cheap optical mouse. And this one we will use for the power adapter. The power adapter is, I think, the best thing in the entire package. And the best thing with the power adapter, a video cable, is that it has an on-off switch on the cable. So you can turn the thing on, or off rather. Now it's a U plug. It says 110 to 240 volts. I think you can read it. So it's modest in its power requirements, at least. There's a lot of references to the speccy in the discussions about how it's a great retro PC, retro machine. And I can see why, because no one who was used to the Commodore 64 or Atari ST or Amigas would think this is a good thing. It's actually quite horrible. The keyboard isn't nice, the plastic isn't nice, it's very cheap. It's self-tapping screws, the holes, it's just a cutout. There we have the extended SD card adapter. So yeah, it's cheap in every aspect possible. So we do as we always do. Let's open it up. So where's the screwdriver? The screws themselves are 4 of them are hidden under some rubber feet, and the self-tapping screws, so it goes quite easily to open it up. And the length of the screws are all the same, they're just differently recessed, so I needed another screwdriver to get the deepest ones out. And here we have it in all its glory. So you can see that the keyboard is a USB keyboard. It sits on a small USB daughter card. And there we have the flex ribbon that goes to the outside or external SD card reader. You can pop it out of the micro slot. This is just built up with off-the-shelf components. Nothing bad with that, but that's what it is. You realize also why you can put a Arduino or a Raspberry Pi inside the box. No problems with that. There we have the passive cooling that we need to improve if we want to use the highest resolution modes or the fastest CPU modes. some RAM and ROM. I guess the 1+8 that it says on the board is 1 megabyte of this and 8 megabytes of that. It is kind of fun if you read the box text. It says that it has state-of-the-art memory technology. And that's good. That's always something to flaunt with, right? Yeah, that's about as fun as it gets. Let's put it back together again. The keyboard is a membrane keyboard with a set of keycaps on top of them. So it works, but it's nothing that you can write fast on. Like I said before, a spec owner would probably think this is a good upgrade. But I can tell you this much, the Spectrum Next that they refer to, this is not comparable to that. That is a very classy and very good looking machine. This is everything but that. And again, if you pay $40 and another $30 for the shipping for a unit like this, you get what you pay for. And I did have my hopes a bit higher, but then again, I got what I paid for. Some cheap tat. I was thinking of sending this actually to Ashens, since I think this is more of his type of products that he's reviewing. Cheap. Here, I've plugged it up to my network, Ethernet, and I have plugged in a Elgato Camlink 4K to capture the video stream from it. And it runs to my laptop, where I just run a normal screen grab. Default resolution is 720, so that is what the screen grab will be. I did not manage to capture any audio. I had some hopes that I could be playing some nice C64 games. I had my sights set for, yeah, there we have the best feature, the power button. My sights set for the Arkanoid and Comic Bakery games, and of course Delta, 3 games that I have very fond memories of. I got Arkanoid to load up eventually on the emulator, or on one of the emulators in it. I also tried to install a few more emulators. The first time you power it up, it takes for ages, several minutes. This is after the first power up, so this is like the second time I start up the machine, so it's not as dreadfully long to boot it. It says somewhere in the papers also that a 2-year-old can learn computing by using this. I would not put it like that. I wouldn't put it in the hands of a 2-year-old, because a 2-year-old wouldn't be able to stand the frustration that you will have to feel when you try to use a touch screen interface with a mouse pointer. Here you can also see that I've installed a pair extra C64 emulators, Rise of the Berk from the APX Pure App Store. They've thought about a lot, but it's very buggy, and I'm struggling to find something nice to say about this system. I tried the RetroArch emulator software here. It runs kind of smooth in this mode, but I didn't manage to get it to run any software with external input. It just didn't want to, so I tried and I tried, and there is no real documentation for it in the system. It's just horrible. First I tried to click and I tried to use a mouse pointer and so, but then I realized I have to use the keyboard only. So zapping along here, and it's arrows and it's backspace to navigate through this. So I tried to add a few additional cores since I'm not too interested in the ones that were there. So I downloaded the C64 cores, trying to get it to load the games that I just mentioned. But again, no go. at this mode it still feels kind of snappy and fast. I'm struggling here to find the way to go back. This was before I realized I need to press backspace to back up a step or two in the menu. So the frustration was getting on me now, and I already had a few D64 images in the download folder, so I hoped that I could get it to run with them. You can always use skip to the next chapter to get past this irritating bit. I am really struggling to find something nice to say about this system, but I can't find anything nice to say about it. It is a Android, and it is not built for nor adopted and adjusted properly for mouse and keyboard input. It needs a touchscreen to work, and it's so obvious in application after application that it lacks the correct input methods. I tried the spec emulator on it as well, didn't get it to run either. I tried the Tauon basic script. Documentation is so bad on it, so I couldn't even write a for loop on it. This game loaded forever. It looked like it managed the screen ratio very well, but it turned out that the game itself was unplayable due to input. So when I, after a long while, got confronted with the question of my age, I couldn't move the slider and I couldn't press the continue button. So this was another case of frustration. They say this is an educational computer for ages 2 and up, and how you could get a 2-year-old or 3-year-old or any kid to actually have the patience to try to work out all these quirks everywhere is beyond my ability to understand. It lacks about everything that it needs. It's a half job, it's not complete, it's buggy when it comes to the input interface. The only thing that it didn't do, it never crashed on me when I was working with it. So that's always positive. I didn't try the Apple emulator. Got fed up with it before that. Instead, I did try the chess walk, and it worked. But again, this one wasn't perfectly adopted for the touchscreen interface. It just used a small portion of it, but it worked at least. So that's always something positive. I can't recommend this one, not for anyone. And if you want a box for your Raspberry Pi, to put a Raspberry Pi card in, you can probably find something cheaper than this one that costs you actually $70 including shipping. There is one thing that is positive that I can mention, and that is shipping time. It ships very fast. I got it within like a week, and considering it's from Taiwan, it's fast. So that's about the most positive thing I can say. That if you want to have a power adapter with a on-off switch on the cord, you can get it for a week, but it will cost you $70. If you're used to any retro computing, the sort of retro computing that we were used to have, that was fast, that was accessible, that was very easy to use, don't get this, because this is everything but that. This is just annoying, to say the best. I don't really know what I'm going to do with it. Put it back in the box, hide it away in the basement, or I should send it to someone who may appreciate a piece of crap technology that is trying to cash in on retro game interest that is quite strong right now. So if you have any suggestions, please leave a comment down below where I should send it. If If I should send it to you, you'll have to contact me. But as for now, this is just a loss. This is no fun. This is definitely no Specky Next. This is no... Yeah, this is not good. Thanks for watching, and I hope you like to be entertained by my frustrations. And now with some regained focus, I have to start working on my CPU video. It will be a lot more fun, at least for me, to do it. Thanks.